Well, welcome everybody to an Arcane Rising market update. I don't have a hat on today. I do have hair, but my wife's asleep and it's almost 1 in the morning, so I'm not going out there. Anyway, let's get into Arcane Rising. Let's talk about a few things first. As usual, I love to highlight Mitch over at the Midtown Merchant. Mitch is a great dude. He's a good friend. I like to highlight his store. I think it's the best store in the Flesh and Blood community. If you're going to shop there, use my promo code JustLove10. It will save you 10% off. And Mitch is just a great guy, so love to support him. And then also, I do have a TCG player affiliate link. I like to mention that as well. If you're going to buy cards anyway, it really does help the channel if you use that affiliate link. That's in the link in my description. If you really want to support the channel, the best way to do so, though, is to go on over to my Patreon. And on my Patreon, we do have lots of stuff. One of the main things you get is a collection tracker. And that collection tracker kind of takes all the values of what I do here in these videos, and it gives you a full collection tracker that tells you your total value. You can break it down to sets. So like this would tell you the total alpha value for your cards, but then you can also pop it in and do your full set and all of your cards in your collection. It's a great way to see kind of where you are in your values, and this updates weekly automatically for you if you're a patron. So I just wanted to shout that out. And then patrons also get access to a Discord channel that we do events. We had a great event this past week, an armor event with cold foil heroes and everything. That it was a lot of fun, and we kind of try to do things for fun. It's a 3-hour time limit this past event, and it just was as many rounds as we could play. Anyway, it's a good time. So let's hop into first edition. So let's hop into Unlimited Arcane Rising, and I'll stop wasting your time shilling for myself. But let's go to Unlimited. So right now you're seeing eBay sales at around $100 for Arcane Rising Unlimited. I will say this, that there are some people like Compete Sports on the Facebook group who have been putting out boxes at $80 a box for a case, $85 a box for a case. I've seen lots of stores doing that. So make sure you're shopping on Facebook too. eBay, people have to pay fees. So we're seeing about $100 boxes on eBay right now. We just had a big restock. So this is a great time to get into the game if you're looking to get into the game. And you can see, if you remember back at the beginning of the year, we did have prices that were hitting $150, which is ridiculous. But now we're at this acceptable price of like $100. So good to see that, and that has caused a lot of these numbers to drop. Particularly, I'm noticing that the Eye of Ophidia is really, really soft this week. I mean, look at the chart. We had a spike, and we had people. I'm wondering if people thought that the misprint was going to give it value, but then I don't know. I haven't seen any other eyes that have been pulled other than the one we pulled on my channel, which I believe was a new printed box, and it still had the misprint. So maybe that affected the price of the eye. Maybe people were buying them up here, anticipating that misprint was going to be fixed and increase the value of the card. And now they're like, oh, it didn't. So they sold their copies, and it's dropped back down. We didn't do that update last week. So in the last 2 weeks, we've lost 29% of the value of the card. Pretty crazy. So down to $500 for the Eye of Ophidia. All right, let's hop on over to the Legendaries, which were also, a few of them were soft again. And then, what I love is that all these cards that are soft because they aren't being played in the meta. And all the cards that are hot because they are being played in the meta. And that's not great for Arcane Rising because the meta is very WTR specific right now. But I will say that it does speak a lot of truth about the health of the game, that the cards that are spiking are played. And it really tells you that the people are playing the game. So if you have any doubt about that, you need to lose that doubt. People are playing. Skirmish events have been a huge success. Let's look at Teklo Foundry Heart, down from 140 to 105. Again, lots of boxes being open. Boxes are cheaper. You're causing a softness in some of these cards that aren't played. Skullbone Crosswrap lost $10 too, down to 135. Grasp of the Arknight down to 100. Stormstriders down from 140 to 100. Man, that's crazy. And Arknight Skullcap down from 199 to 170. And I have noticed that there are more and more people using the Skullcap to replace that helm slot. And even not playing against Null Rune or against Runeblade stuff or Wizard, they are slotting that in for that extra damage boost. So it'll be interesting to see. It seems like a newer thing I just caught on to this week, so I don't know how long it's been. Maybe I'm just behind. I'm not great at the game. So all in all, your legendary average is sitting at $122. That's down 17% over the last 2 weeks. So let's go to your Majestics. This is the rainbow foil versions. In the last 2 weeks, we've seen a little bit of movement, not anything kind of massive. High Octane down a little bit. A lot of these kind of class specific cards down or up $1 or $2. But Command and Conquer, the Rainbow Foil, down to $110. I think the lowest right now on TCG Player is $115, but this was the sold listing. And then Art of War up to $49. That puts your kind of all your cards down about 5%. Sitting your average Majestic Rainbow Foil is sitting at $35. Let's go to the non-foil Majestics. And a lot of the same thing going on here. Actually, these ones are up slightly, but some of the movement of them is a little bizarre. You know, the class specifics don't seem to be moving at all, but the Command and Conquer is going up, whereas we saw the Rainbow Foil go down. That's what I meant by bizarre. And then Art of War is going down, where we saw the Majestic Rainbow Foil going up. So I don't know what to say about that, but just an interesting market trend there, I guess. All in all, the cards are up 2%, a lot in turn of Command and Conquer. Maybe that's just people looking for the card to play, so they're buying the cheapest version. I know it has been showing up quite a bit recently. And people are also speccing that the Arsenal is going to have, Command and Conquer reads destroy all cards in the Arsenal. So people are speccing a little bit on Monarch having some Arsenal things going on. And I think that's what's causing the price of some of these to move a little bit. All in all, your average Majestic is sitting at $16 with your growth of 2% in the last 2 weeks. Again, remember, we did not do a market update last week, so these numbers are 2 weeks old. We usually do an update every week, but I was moving. So we will be back to normal schedule now. Let's go to the Rainbow Foil Super Rares, which, oh my gosh, it's like nobody cares about the Rainbow Foils, or about the Super Rares from Arcane. It's like none of the cards get played or anything. Anyway, everything's kind of soft this week. All in all, 5% loss. Nothing really to write home about, nothing really significant. Again, these cards just don't seem to be that popular. I don't know what to say. I say it every week, but it just you never kind of see them moving. The regular super rares are also down, this time 13%. Again, that would be kind of in the last 2 weeks down 5 or 6% a week. And keep in mind, you do get 4 of these in every box. More boxes are being opened, and that's what's causing a lot of the softness on these cards, especially because the Arcane classes aren't being as played in the meta as the WTR classes, so the cards just aren't as popular. Your average super is still sitting at $2.43. That's down 13%. And if you want to see a graph, you can see kind of just trends down. Okay, let's go to the rares. Remember, I use TCG low on the rares. Your average is sitting at $1.59. That is down 8%. So you can see sellers have lowered their prices. And man, I mean, back in at the beginning of the year, we were upwards of $4, and now we are just tanked down to even below $2. So your average at $1.50. And then the rares are the same thing. Remember, I just used TCG low. And you're sitting at 9% down, 22 cents on average. Not really that important. The common rainbow foils, some of these common equipment still have decent value, $2, $3, $4, $5 every now and then, but they don't have as much value as the WTR ones. That is for sure. We will talk about cold foil commons though coming up pretty soon. Average, because of those equipment cards, is sitting at around $1. Just remember that not every common card is worth $1. It's just mostly those equipment cards. Most of these are worth like 50 cents. But all right, let's go to the EV calculation. Remember, in each box, you're going to get 42 rares. And now you're probably not going to be able to sell all those rares for the full value, but we are just doing an estimated value here for the box. You're going to get 4 foil rares. You're going to get 4 super rares. You're going to get 1 foil super rare, about 2 Majestics per box. 1 in every 4 boxes has a chance of hitting a foil Majestic. 1 in every 4 boxes has a chance of hitting the Legendary. And 1 in around 40 boxes will hit a Fabled. That puts your box EV, if you were to open 40 boxes, so you would hit the Fabled and you would hit 10 Legendaries, you are sitting at an average of $114.07 per box. But if you take the Legendary and the Fabled out, so you are still hitting a foil Majestic, your average box is sitting around $71. So obviously it's getting more risky, but the box prices are also down too. So let's take a look at the EV chart. Let's compare that to where we were 2 weeks ago. So 114.07. I think I gotta type it in here. 114.07. Man, we are down a lot. That is a steep drop there. That's one of the steepest drops we've had in quite a bit. But we are down to 114.07. So let's take a look at the top 10 winners and losers. So Forked Lightning up 43% from $4 to $5.75. Maximum Velocity, so 2 super rares. Actually, I was bashing the super rares, and 2 of the super rares are up. This one from 285 to 381. It's a gain of 33%. And Sonic Boom, a Majestic Rainbow Foil, up from $30 to $32 at 66.6%. The non-foil gainers, not a ton of movement here. Or Tome of the Arknight up at 25 cents. Not gonna be, this stuff doesn't really matter. Let's see what lost the most value. Let's go into that. So Pursuit of Knowledge, losing some value. There's a super rare. Lesson in Lava, also losing some value. Both losing about 35-ish%. And then Storm Striders. I thought that one was interesting. Losing $40 at 28%. And that's tied with Eye of Ophidia too. So both of those losing about 30%. Eye of Ophidia losing $200 this week. Kind of crazy. And then there's another legendary too. So actually 1, 2, 3 legendaries made the top 10 foil losers. Non-foil losers, nothing really to talk about. So Spark of Genius down $4 at 58%. Knock the Death Whistle down $1.75 at 28%. And Blazing Aether down $2 at 25%. We will have at the end of this week, so tomorrow will be the WTR video, and then after that on Monday we will have a kind of top 10 cards that gained or lost value through all 3 sets. So all right, let's head over on to Arcane Rising First Edition. And just keep in mind, on all these videos, I try to just show you the facts of what I'm seeing on the market. If you want more of my opinions, I do have a podcast as part of my Patreon at the expensive tier called If I Were Investing, and I do share kind of more of my opinions on what's happening on the market in that podcast. So let's look at the sealed box prices. We are up to $1,858. And then as soon as I kind of started recording the video, I did see that one sold recently for $1,750, kind of while I was doing the market update. So 2 of them sold at upwards of $1,800. $1,858 the other day. So that's the price that I pulled. But there was one that sold for $1,750 after that. Box prices are around $1,800. That's what you need to know. And eventually these box prices will move, but they have been flat. Look at that graph. I mean, they've just been so flat, just kind of gradually moving up. It's kind of crazy to me. If you compare like these graphs to like Crucible or WTR, the other first edition sets, it's kind of crazy. It'll be interesting to me, honestly, to see how Monarch catches up to this, because Crucible is like on its tail, right? Like, it's unbelievable to me. Anyway, anyway, we won't talk about that. Let's get to the Fabled. So I did see a sold listing today about an hour ago of the Eye of Ophidia, the cold foil version, at $10,000. Very good condition. I would say this has a shot. I mean, it's got you can't see the top of this, can you? It's got a shot at like a 9.5, honestly. So the guy who bought it sent me a photo of the receipt, and he did purchase it. So it was listed at $11,000, but it did sell for $10,000. So, all right, let's go on to the Legendaries. Sorry, that's a loss of 17%. Let's go on to the Legendaries. All right, we've got these ones. I didn't find any sold listings for. Oops, what did I do? So Teklo Foundry, I didn't really find much for. Grasp of the Arknight, didn't really find much more. But Skullbone Crasswrap I thought was interesting because this one had a huge spike 2 weeks ago up to 1,800. But we had another 2 or 3, I think, sold listings on eBay at 1,600. So really, really locking in that price. Grasp of the Arknight, again, I said there wasn't really much change in it. Storm Striders down to $1,111 specifically on eBay. Somebody was real specific. And then Arknight Skullcap, this is what I was saying earlier. There are tons of sold listings this week for Arknight Skullcap, all floating at that $2,400 range, which puts your average kind of sitting up 4% at $1,602.20. So one thing I will say about these is make sure you are shopping around. It is very, very important to get photos. Anything that's like a 9.5 or above potential, people are paying top dollar for. I mean, you could probably gain like 25%, I'm guessing, if it looks like it's minty, because people who are buying these really want to get them graded. So make sure you're shopping around. If you're just looking for one that's raw, you might be able to find a lower valued one and get a discount if it's not grading high. So let's go to the cold foil commons. I've been talking about cold foil commons for a while. Tons of these sold this week. Unbelievable amounts. Tons of people buying and selling cold foil commons. Achilles Accelerator up to 215. Bullseye Bracers up to 185. Crown of Dichotomy up to 250. Robe of Rapture up to 250. Talismanic Lens up to 300. Vested the First Fist up to 200. I didn't find any Bracers, Mage Master Boots, or Null Rune Hoods that sold, but Null Rune Robe, gloves, and boots all up to like the 175 range, which puts your average at 206.25. And I have been talking about cold foil commons for a while, and I think what we're starting to see is a lot of people it's crazy. A lot of people way back, I'm talking like this time last year, these cards were sitting in bulk bins of commons at stores around the country that people just didn't see any value in them. They were just like cold foil commons. They didn't mean anything. And so what happened is I think a lot of these at the $100 mark, people started to be like, oh, let me dig around for them. And now we're starting to see that dry up. And now we're seeing like the actual market accepting these cold foil commons as valuable cards. So very, very interesting to see. It's been really cool. I think it's been really fun to watch the ups and downs of it, because we have kind of had these huge gains and then decreases, right? Like a huge gain and then a decrease and then a decrease and then a gain and then a decrease as people kind of cash in. But now we're starting to just see rises. So very, very interesting there. I have been buying a couple cold foil commons as well, just full disclosure, because I really like them and I want a full set, and it's something I can kind of afford, so as opposed to the legendaries. But we are up 19%. So cold foil commons going hard. Majestic rainbow foils. There was a red in the ledger that sold. Let me pop it up for you. For 120. I would not ever sell one of these for 120 if I had one. I don't have any, but that price is definitely, that's what the seller wanted for it, so that's what they got for it. But I think that price was low, but that's what's on here. And then I have an Arcane Ascendancy that was on Facebook. There was two of them. I think one actually sold for 175, but then there was another one that sold for 250. So I kind of left the price at 250 because that is kind of solid in what we've seen in the market the last couple weeks. And then the other thing that sold was on eBay, an Art of War rainbow foil at $650, which would be a new target price for that. And you can see we've been at 500 for quite a while. We did reach up to the 635, but now 650 should be our kind of new stagnant point for that. So all in all, just a 1% gain at $367. And that chart's broken. Sorry about that. This goes to Majestics. So lots of sold listings for the Majestic, but everything's selling around the value that I've had it at. Teklo Core sold for 42. That was actually down a little bit, but the rest of them kind of about the same. Command and Conquer, though, selling at 200, and then Art of War selling at 121. So those two kind of flipped. They didn't really flip, but like one went up and one went down. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, I kind of said that the Art of War, it doesn't make sense to be so close to the Command and Conquer, because Command and Conquer is so much more played than Art of War, and so it just kind of has that kind of classic card. So all in all, because of those switches, we didn't really have any gain on your average. You're sitting at $58 for your average Majestic. The super rare rainbow foils, a couple sold listings, a weird $57 listing that sold on TCG Player this week. Knock the Death Whistle, another one solidified at 130. Become the Arknight sold at 75, and then a Forked Lightning sold at 40. So kind of all over the place. All in all, we're down 4%. And like I said, these these super rare cards just seem to be having a hard time finding their home spot. All in all. And the super rares, we had lots of those sold anywhere from $1 to $3 off of the last week's price. Not tons of like strong movement, but just a lot of softness, honestly. A lot of cards down $2, which kind of puts the average down about 8%, down to $13 as your average super rare. But let's get to the rare rainbow foils. Just keep in mind, I use TCG Player low. Your rare rainbow foil is still sitting around $17. That's not really much change. Sellers have not lowered anything or risen anything in the last 2 weeks. And the rares, just pop that up, sitting about the same at $1.38. Your common rainbow foils, you can still get some decent value out of some of these. They are not selling as much as the WTR ones, though. The WTR one's definitely moving more at higher volumes in terms of sales, which is super important. Your average common rainbow foil is sitting at $5. and then the commons still sitting about 80 cents. Let's get to our EV calculation so you know what's in a box. So this is all the cards, right? This is if you were to open 40 boxes, you'd be sitting at $1,633, $1,633. But if you take out the non-foil commons, like obviously you're not going to actually get 80 cents each for those commons. You'd be sitting at $1,422. But kind of if you're just going to be opening one box. Now, this is still not accurate because this also assumes that you hit a Majestic kind of. So you are sitting, and you don't sell the non-foil commons either, at $771. So obviously at the $1,800 mark, it is not worth it to open a box of Arcane first. I actually got to open my first box the other day for a bunch of patrons who we did a box break, which is kind of fun. But nobody made their money back, so it kind of felt bad for everybody, even including me. But that gives you, let's compare that to last week. So I think the number we use is 1633. Let's check. Nope, that's not the number we use. We use the 1422, the box EV with comments. So 1422, that is not much different from last time. Really a 0% change. It's down like $6. So lots of cards soft, lots of cards not. Let's get to our top 10 and see what's going on. A ton of cold foil commons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 10. 8 of the 10 are cold foil commons, everybody. Sorry, that's a lie. 7 of the 10. One of those was a legendary. But the top card this week was the Become the Arknight Super Rare, up from 43 to 75. That's a gain of 75%. A lot of these super rare, or these common cold foils, are up 25 to 50%, with Talismanic Lens and Null Rune Robe sitting at the 50%, and then that Arknight Skull Cap slid in there at a gain of 33%, or $600 this week. The non-foil gainers, all Majestic cards, kind of this was a Majestic city here. Command and Conquer up $30 for 17%. Blazing Aether up $3 for 12%. And Arknight Ascendancy also up $3 for 8%. Your lowest cards, the cards that lost the most value, I have a video came in at 4th, down 16%. Let's go first. Sorry, I just jumped to that one. Forked Lightning Rainbow Foil lost $50, down from 90 to 40 at 55%. Red in the Ledger. Again, I don't think that these prices are accurate. I think these people just got a really good deal. But that being said, it is the statistics on the market. So down from 230 to 120. That's a loss of $110 at $47. And Spark of Genius up there as well, from 95 to 57 at 40%. And then the non-foil cards, you've got really nothing. 20% losses in Pursuit of the Knowledge, Become the Arknight, and Endless Arrow, all super rares, losing $2 or $3 or $4 or $5. So not much to write home about. Anyway, I hope that you had a great day today. Hope you're being kind to the people around you. Let me know what you think about Arcane Rising. Let me know if you purchased any of these cards or what was going on. And interesting to see that the cards just don't seem to move as well in Arcane as WTR. So hope you have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. And if you want access to all this data, and keep in mind at the tier that is my podcast, they also get access to all the historical data as well. They actually get access to this whole tracker, which is cool for them to kind of look, if they're thinking about purchasing a card, they can kind of come in here and say, you know, if you're looking at purchasing a legendary, let's pop that up. I know I'm just shilling for myself now, but if you're looking to purchase a legendary, you can actually see the kind of the history of the price and say, okay, the bottom price in the last 6 months was $1,200. And so at $1,200, that seems like a pretty good deal. So anyway, all that being said, hope you have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you. Well, it's already 1 a.m., so we'll see you later today, I guess, for WTR, and we'll do that.